Hello there, I'm Nadia Azmi and you are tuning in to Nightline. The top stories. Allah shoe logo issue, Jakim to summon relevant parties. And 2 MMEA personnel injured after being shot in Kuna waters. Good morning. The Malaysian Islamic Development Department Jakim will summon the relevant quarters regarding a viral social media post showing a shoe logo which allegedly resembles the word Allah. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said the government will not compromise with any party if they are found to have insulted the religion of Islam. In a statement on Sunday, Naim said Jakim will summon those responsible for the shoes to clarify the issue on Monday. Therefore, he urged all parties to remain calm and allow Jakim and the authorities to investigate the allegation. He also urged the public with information on the matter to channel it to the authorities, including police. In a video posted on social media earlier, a man claimed to have purchased a pair of high-heel shoes from an outlet in Kuantan. He added that the shoes had an inscription resembling the word Allah in Arabic on its sole, adding that he would be lodging a police report on the matter. Now, 8 police reports have been received so far nationwide regarding the shoe logo allegedly resembling the word Allah. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said investigation papers have been opened to probe the matter based on the complaints. According to Razaruddin, the investigations will be carried out under Section 298 of the Penal Code for intentionally wounding the religious feelings of others, as well as Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act for improper use of network facilities or services. The top cop also said that police will call up the relevant parties to give their statement to facilitate the probe. He also stated that the purpose of the complaints was to urge for an investigation to be conducted to identify those responsible so that appropriate legal action could be taken according to existing laws. Meanwhile, Vance Holdings Sindran Berhad has issued an apology and a clarification regarding the shoe logo that has become the centre of controversy. In a statement, the company's management acknowledged that there were shortcomings in the design of the logo, which that could lead to misinterpretation, thereby offending the feelings of many parties. The company also clarified that it never intended to produce a logo design that ridiculed or insulted any religion or belief, and expressed hope that the company would be given an opportunity to rectify its mistake. It also explained that the logo was inspired by the image of interconnected lines resembling the strap of a high-heeled shoe. Despite this, the company said they have taken immediate steps to halt the sales of the shoe and were prepared to refund customers who have purchased the items. 2 Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA Lahad Datu Zone personnel were injured in a shooting incident in Kuna waters, Sabah on Sunday. In the 8:40 a.m. incident, 3 suspects armed with pistols fired 4 shots at a team of MMEA personnel on board the Bangi 48 vessel, which was on patrol in the area. MMEA Lahad Datu Maritime Zone Director, Maritime Commander Zuzana Razali Chan, said at the time of the incident, the MMEA vessel was about to approach a blue boat for inspection about 0.2 nautical miles northeast of Kampung Pangi, Kuna. However, the suspect suddenly opened fire to prevent the patrol vessel from approaching before fleeing the scene. She added that the 2 injured MMEA personnel were taken to Kuna Hospital for treatment, while 4 other personnel involved in the incident escaped unhurt. The injured personnel are 45-year-old Maritime Petty Officer Zainal Abad Komel, who was injured in the right eye, and 35-year-old Maritime Leading Rate Prix di Kuala Jimin, who sustained injuries in both hands from the gunfire. Meanwhile, the Eastern Sabah Security Command ESCOM Commander Datuk Victor Sanjos said they are collaborating with other security agencies, including the MMEA, in efforts to identify and track down the gunmen. It has yet to be established whether the suspects are smugglers or part of a kidnap for ransom group. The remand order on an Israeli man who was detained with 6 pistols and 200 rounds of ammunition has been extended for another 7 days from Sunday. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said the remand extension for the suspect, identified as Shalom Avitan, which ended on Sunday, was to allow police more time to complete their investigations. In a statement on Sunday, Razaruddin said police are still gathering evidence on the main suspect and a local married couple, as well as to determine the motives behind the possession of firearms and ammunition. Meanwhile, another suspect who acted as a driver for Avitan and detained in Cameron Highlands has been released on police bail. In total, 16 individuals, including 2 Turkish men and 1 Georgian man, were detained in connection to the arrest of the Israeli man in a special operation involving Bukit Aman, Kuala Lumpur Police and the Special Branch. The 36-year-old Israeli man was found to have entered the country via the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA on March 12 using a French passport. The 6 firearms and 200 rounds of ammunition were discovered in the suspect's hotel room during his arrest at Jalan Ampang in the federal capital on March 27th. Police are investigating to uncover the real reason why the suspect came to the country and have not ruled out that he is an Israeli spy. A husband and wife aged 42 and 38 died when the car they were travelling in was involved in an accident near the Banjaran Titiwangsa Rest and Recreation area on the Great Jeli East-West Highway JRTB in Perak on Sunday. Besides the deceased couple, there were 8 other victims who were injured in the accident. 3 children, 2 boys and a baby girl who were in the same vehicle as the couple, however, survived with injuries. The accident involved 2 vehicles, a Proton Persona carrying the victims and a Toyota Innova multipurpose vehicle MPV also carrying 5 victims, comprising 1 man and 4 women. The crash occurred after the Persona driver en route towards Jeli Kelantan was believed to have lost control and veered into the opposite lane, colliding with the MPV. Following the accident, all injured victims as well as the deceased were sent to Great Hospital for treatment and post-mortem. The cause of the incident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Meanwhile, in Pahang, another couple also died in an accident at the Central Spine Road, Lipis, at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday. Lipis District Police Chief Superintendent Ismail Man said the couple were on their way home in Taman Bukit Pedah Jerantut from Bachok, Kelantan. The couple, 53-year-old Muhammad Nafia Abdul Wahab, was driving a Perodua Kancil, and a 54-year-old Rafida Ahmad died at the scene. Initial investigations found that the driver lost control and veered off into the road divider. The bodies of both victims were taken to the Lipis Hospital for post-mortem, and the cause of the incident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. In Sabah, a 52-year-old man was killed while 5 others, including 3 boys, were injured in a collision between a pickup truck and a car along Jalan Manggaris, Kota Marudu on Sunday. A State Fire and Rescue Department spokesperson said the department was alerted to the incident at 8:54 a.m. and immediately deployed a team from the Kota Marudu fire station to the scene. Upon arrival, the team extricated a man from the car, but he was pronounced dead by medical personnel at the scene. His body was then handed over to the police for further action. The driver and passengers of the pickup truck sustained light injuries and were sent to Kota Marudu Hospital for treatment. Fear and confusion as Zionist regime announces major troop withdrawal. News from the foreign front when we return.
Ada 200 meter daripada hospital kami telah di-deal oleh pesawat Israel.
That my first experience yang MCI yang betul-betul extract. You takkan lupa. Ada bunyi yang gegagaran, senario, blood.
Boleh dengar kan? Masalah nombor 1 memang painkiller tak cukup.
Mereka dapat makanan, dijual balik. Tapi mereka nak duit untuk beli barang lain. Dan mereka sangat berharap perang ini akan tamat.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Saya dah hilang dah mak dia, lepas tu hilang anak-anak lagi.
Biar saya struggle sekarang untuk besarkan anak-anak macam mana, sebab satu hari saya pasti akan tinggalkan orang juga.
Dari segi fizikalnya tidak ada sebarang cacat celah. Tetapi kenapa tingkah laku dia berbeza dengan anak-anak yang lain?
Kita menguruskan manusia, banduan, dengan pelbagai kerenah, dengan pelbagai masalah, dengan pelbagai kesulitan.
Hukuman di dunia telah diberi kepada dia, dia adalah menjalani hukuman penjara. Apa salah kita memberi peluang kedua kepada benda untuk dia berubah?
Macam saya cakap tadi lah, kalau nak tanya dengan orang, tak ada seorang pun yang nak jadi pegawai penjara, tak ada.
Welcome back. As the Zionist regime's violence in Gaza enters its 7th month, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said that Israel would not agree to a ceasefire until the hostages being held in Gaza are released. Netanyahu said that despite growing international pressure, Israel would not give in to extreme demands from Hamas. Meanwhile, dozens of Palestinians were martyred in the Gaza Strip early on Sunday in a series of airstrikes by Israeli warplanes and artillery shelling. The attacks focused on the cities of Khan Yunis and Rafah, located in the southern Gaza Strip. The regime also launched intensive airstrikes on the Zana and Bani Suhaila, killing and injuring several more. Despite strong international opposition, Israel has been maintaining for weeks that it is planning a large-scale ground incursion into Rafah, where more than 1 million Palestinians are currently sheltering from fighting elsewhere in the sealed-off coastal area. Meanwhile, the Zionist regime has allegedly said it has withdrawn its ground troops from the southern Gaza Strip, including Khan Yunis, amid conflicting reports about the scale and duration of the disengagement. The regime, however, said that one brigade remained without providing further details. The withdrawal occurred as mediators resumed ceasefire talks in Egypt's capital Cairo on Sunday, with Qatar's Prime Minister and the CIA chief in attendance. However, it was unclear if any high-level Israeli officials participated. Inflation is still the most urgent concern among Philippine citizens, the latest sign of how stubborn price pressures may complicate policymakers' efforts to spur economic growth. According to a nationwide survey by an independent polling firm, which included 1,200 adult Filipinos, 70% of them considered controlling inflation as their most urgent concern. The survey also showed that the need to control the spiraling prices of basic commodities is the only national concern considered urgent by most adults in the country. Only 1% of the respondents said they regard changing the constitution as a national concern. New Zealand said that it was making immediate changes to its employment visa program on Sunday after a near-record migration last year, which it deemed unsustainable. The changes include measures such as introducing English language requirement for low-skilled jobs and setting a minimum skills and work experience threshold for most employer work visas. The maximum continuous stay for most low-skilled roles will also be reduced to 3 years from 5 years. Immigration Minister Erica Stanford in a statement said the government is now focused on attracting and retaining highly skilled migrants, such as secondary teachers. Last year, nearly a record-breaking 173,000 people migrated to New Zealand, raising concerns of inflation. Poland cast their ballots on Sunday for local elections, marking the first test for the Prime Minister Donald Tusk's coalition government nearly 4 months since it took power. Poles will elect mayors as well as members of municipal councils and provincial assemblies who will play a key role in allocating billions in European Union funds and giving an early indication of their satisfaction with Tusk's government. The three groupings that form the coalition are running on separate tickets, and analysts say the results that emerge from a campaign in which national issues such as abortion rights have loomed large will have ramifications for the balance of power in the government. Survey polls showed a tight race between Tusk's Civic Coalition KO and Nationalist Opposition Party Law and Justice PIS for the first place. A second round of voting in mayoral races will be held on April 21st. In United Kingdom, the wingtip in emergency Virgin Atlantic aircraft collided with a stationary British Airways airliner on Saturday while being towed from a stand at London's Heathrow Airport. Heathrow Airport, Britain's busiest airport, said no passenger injuries had been reported and it did not anticipate any ongoing impact to the airport's operations. British Airways stated they are currently assessing the situation and have provided an alternative aircraft to limit the impact on their customers. Meanwhile, a Virgin Atlantic spokesperson said they have commenced a full and thorough investigation and the aircraft has been taken out of service for maintenance checks. The airline said there would be no disruption to its flying program on Saturday. Verstappen secures his third win in Japan. Actions from F1 right after this breather.
Ada 200 meter daripada hospital kami telah di-deal oleh pesawat Israel.
That my first experience yang MCI yang betul-betul extract. You takkan lupa. Ada bunyi yang gegaran, senario blood.
Boleh dengar kan? Masalah nombor satu memang painkiller tak cukup.
Mereka dapat makanan, dijual balik. Tapi mereka nak duit untuk beli barang lain. Dan mereka sangat berharap perang ini akan tamat.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
RM9.90 je? Murahnya. Tapi macam tak percaya je.
Amboi. Awak ni baru awal puasa awak dah shopping raya ke?
Bukan. Ni saya tengah tengok package Tonton Up ni. Murah betul. RM9.90 je. Tapi betul ke ni?
Memang betul. Saya pun dah subscribe dah Tonton Up ni. Memang murah. Sekarang ni saya tunjuk awak macam-macam caranya. Cuma sign in je details awak dekat sini. Lepas tu klik je butang Tonton Up tu. Dah bolehlah enjoy tengok semua rancangan.
Kalau macam ni langgan lagi layan.
Kan? Okey, jom kita layan.
Jom.
Okay.
Dia jadi satu rindu yang... Rindu ibarat angin yang tiada henti, menanggung rasa rindu akibat nahas El Nino.
Rindu yang tiada ganti.
Apakah nasib keluarga mangsa tragedi di Syawal tahun ini?
Abah reda, Abah gembira.
Ada rindu Bapa.
Mengukir cinta, memeluk harapan dalam rindu tanpa penghujung. Menjelang malam raya 11 malam di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports. Formula One, the 2024 Japanese Grand Prix. Red Bull's Max Verstappen got back to its winning ways with a third straight pole to flag victory at Suzuka, leading teammate Sergio Perez to a dominant 1-2 finish on Sunday. The three-time world champion failed to finish in Australia 14 days ago, but he was in control for the entire race in Japan after starting from pole. However, the race was red-flagged on the second lap after RB's Daniel Ricciardo and Williams' Alex Albon collided and crashed after a frenetic start. Despite this, the Dutchman did not hold back to claim his third win from 4 Grand Prix this season, finishing 12 seconds ahead of Perez, while Ferrari's Carlos Sainz finished third. Verstappen was back to his breathtaking best after a brake issue in Melbourne, leading the title race with 77 points. F1 will resume on April 19th to 21st with the 2024 Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai. On to football, the German Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen is just a win away from their first league title after defeating 10-man Union Berlin 1-0 away on Saturday. The visitors put Union on the back foot from the start, with a couple of their chances either going wide or being thwarted by the goalkeeper. Leverkusen finally broke the deadlock deep in first half stoppage time when Florian Wirtz calmly converted from the spot following a handball inside the box. The hosts never really mounted any comeback with the player down in the second half, and the score remained unchanged until the final whistle. Leverkusen, which remained unbeaten in 41 games across all competitions this season, is now leading with 76 points, 16 ahead of Bayern Munich with 6 games remaining. In another match, Bayern Munich squandered a 2-goal lead to slump to a shock 2-3 loss against promoted Heidenheim. England skipper Harry Kane gave Bayern the lead in the 38th minute after finishing Serge Gnabry's looping pass. Gnabry then headed in Alphonso Davies' cross just before the interval to make it 2-0 for the Bavarians. The hosts pulled one back 5 minutes into the second half through substitute Kevin Sessa, before Tim Kleindienst equalised a minute later, bundling home Jan-Niklas Besti's stunning delivery. As the Bavarians were pushing for a win, Kleindienst stunned them by scoring the winner in the 79th minute for Heidenheim's first ever victory against Bayern. The Thomas Tuchel's side have now lost their last 2 league matches, with the embattled coach set to leave at the end of the season. Sharing ideal Fitri joy with less fortunate. The details when we return.
Kita menguruskan manusia, banduan, dengan pelbagai kerenah, dengan pelbagai masalah, dengan pelbagai kesulitan.
Hukuman di dunia telah diberi kepada dia. Dia adalah menjalani hukuman penjara. Apa salah kita memberi peluang kedua kepada bandar untuk dia berubah?
Macam saya cakap tadi lah, kalau nak tanya dengan orang, tak ada seorang pun yang nak jadi pegawai penjara, tak ada.
Saya dah hilang dah mak dia, lepas tu hilang anak-anak lagi.
Biar saya struggle sekarang untuk besarkan anak-anak macam mana, sebab satu hari saya pasti akan tinggalkan orang juga.
Dari segi fizikalnya tidak ada sebarang cacat celah. Tetapi kenapa tingkah laku dia berbeza dengan anak-anak yang lain?
Ada 200 meter daripada hospital kami telah di-deal oleh pesawat Israel.
That my first experience yang MCI yang betul-betul airstrike. You takkan lupa. Ada bunyi yang gegaran, senario blood.
Boleh dengar kan? Masalah nombor 1 memang painkiller tak cukup.
Mereka dapat makanan, dijual balik. Tapi mereka nak duit untuk beli barang lain. Dan mereka sangat berharap perang ini akan tamat.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. Police arrested a trailer driver and his attendant on suspicion of smuggling cigarettes valued at nearly 10 million ringgit, including unpaid tax, on Saturday. Kelantan Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Zaki Harun said a police team had detected a suspicious boat entering Tumpat waters at 4 p.m. and discovered individuals moving some boxes into the trailer.
Pasukan Marine melalui pasukan risiknya, unit risiknya telah dapat mengesan sebuah bot yang dipercayai akan masuki perairan Tumpat. Dan dia telah membuat intipan dan telah dapati daripada maklumat mengatakan ada beberapa lori kecil memasukkan sesuatu dalam lori tanker ni. Lori dia panggil apa? Bukan tanker, trailer. So beliau telah membuat perhatian dan telah follow kenderaan ini sehingga ke Jalan Sultan Ismail, Langgar, Kota Baru.
During checks on the trailer, authorities found over 27,000 cartons of cigarettes. All the cigarettes were believed to have been smuggled from neighbouring countries to be distributed in the local market, especially in the Klang Valley. Police also seized the trailer, 3 delivery checklist forms and 3 mobile phones. Both suspects, who have no past criminal records, have been remanded until Tuesday for investigation under the Customs Act. It's Hari Raya soon and you're already thinking of buying new clothes. But you likely have a few baju kurung or baju Melayu that you haven't worn in ages hidden at the back of your closet. What should you do with them? One NGO has the perfect solution. FMT's Natasha Bust has the story.
The 50 children from Rumah Titian Kasih can't contain their excitement. Today, they will be picking out one outfit each for Hari Raya. But unlike most Muslims, these orphans will not be shopping for new clothes at a mall. Instead, they'll be picking their outfits from clothes donated by Malaysians under the Baju Raya project. All the clothes were collected by Adib Khalid, the project's organizer.
The Baju Raya project initiative draws in hundreds of eager volunteers. Their mission? To lend a helping hand in collecting, sorting, and packaging clothes for those in need.
The donation drive started at 9:30 a.m. with volunteers collecting the clothes from a drive-through drop-off point at the Federal Territory Mosque's entrance. The clothes were then brought into the foyer to be sorted.
Kalau ikutkan anggaran antara kita terima lebih kurang antara 5,000 ke 7,000 helai setiap tahun.
Given the large number of clothes donated this year, it took 250 volunteers approximately 4 hours to sift through everything, but no one was complaining. Karunisa Roslan, who has volunteered with the NGO for 4 consecutive years, said this was a yearly tradition of hers in the lead-up to Hari Raya.
It's actually one of the way yang kita nak sumbangkan sesuatu dengan kaedah yang berbeza lah. Sebelum ni, kalau kita nak tolong orang, kita keluarkan duit dan sebagainya. Tapi kali ini, kita sumbangkan dari bentuk tenaga lah.
Another volunteer, Zuraida Zaharuddin, said it was important that all Muslims celebrate Hari Raya with joy, regardless of their background.
Saya rasa, saya harap yang bakal penerima-penerima baju ni akan seronoklah macam mana kita seronok untuk readykan, sediakan baju-baju ni, kumpulkan baju-baju ni untuk diorang. Saya harap yang menerima pun seronoklah dengan pemberian atas usaha kami yang tak seberapa ini.
Once sorted, the clothes were brought to Rumah Titian Kasih, one of 15 orphanages identified for this year's donation drive. At the orphanage, 15-year-old Haziq Hakimi was all smiles. He enjoyed seeing the other children, especially the younger ones, excitedly chatting with each other and trying on the clothes before settling on their favourite.
Saya rasa happy lah, gembira sebab orang bagi baju. Saya tak mampu nak beli.
Orphanage warden Haslinda Dol Hamid said the Baju Raya project has helped alleviate the home's financial responsibilities. More importantly, it has given the orphans something new to wear on Hari Raya Day. Natasha Bust, FMT for Nightline.
As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look at the holy city of Mecca, where a record 2.5 million Muslims gathered at the Masjid Al-Haram to observe Ramadan's sacred night prayer. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for tuning in, and to our Muslim viewers, Selamat Bersahur.